So yeah, now let's move on to the second section of this video, that is on Socrates. So now we are moving to the Socratic period. So when the Sophist school suggested that truth is relative, one of the most greatest figure of the Athens appears to say that truth is absolute. He was Socrates. So Socrates believed that truth is absolute. The concepts like justice, love, hate, beauty, truth, for all this we can have a generic definition. All this concept has a universal and absolute meaning which remains stable despite the changes that happens in this world. Socrates was born in Athens. He was destined to restore the order out of the chaos that was created. Until the 17th year of living in Athens, he was charged with three things. Firstly, he was charged for denying the national gods. Secondly, he was charged for introducing new gods. Thirdly, he was charged for corrupting the individual and young minds. He was believed to be one of the greatest philosophers. He was believed to be the father of the Western philosophy. It is from him it was believed that the Western political philosophy have started. But, however, it is also to be noted that he did not give any systematic theory to philosophy. He did not try to systematize philosophy, but rather was the author of philosophical method, which is one of the most important method, that is the dialectical method. What is the dialectical method? It is a method which is used in philosophizing. It is a method of asking question and re-asking the question. It is a method of dialogue between two or more people. So philosophy is all about dialogue for him. He did not conduct any classroom teachings. Since he did not construct any systematic philosophy, so how will he construct any classroom teaching? He did not construct any classroom teaching. He rather went to the streets where he saw people gathering. He went there and he started emerging a dialogue. He went to the marketplace or anywhere where he saw people were gathering. He went there and tried to start a conversation of whoever was ready to talk to him regarding the basic or the deep problems of life. His theory of moral life is based upon practical well-being. Virtue for him is the main factor that would lead any human being to the attainment of perfection. Socrates maintains that virtue gives us pleasure and satisfaction. But how can this virtue be attained? Socrates says that this virtue can be attained through knowledge. And virtuous action is that which we naturally seek. Socratic teaching is ethical in nature. He brushed aside all the questions related to origination of this world that we have discussed in all our episodes previously. So he brushed aside all those questions related to the origin of world or the origin of the ultimate nature of this world. Socrates considered all such knowledge as worthless, as contrasted with ethical knowledge, which is the essential knowledge of man. So we can say that the ethical teaching of Socrates is basically his theory of knowledge. Now what this theory of knowledge is, we will get to. For him, knowledge is based basically upon reason, and therefore this reason restores the objectivity of truth, since for him objective truth is the reality and reason is that which will lead us to the objective truth. He said that all knowledge is knowledge through concepts. But what are concepts? So when we are directly aware of the presence of some object, say for example this mobile phone, I am directly aware of this mobile phone. So my being aware of this mobile phone is through my perception. Now when I shut my eyes, now I still can imagine the image of that mobile phone. So the mental image that is present inside my head are basically the ideas of the particular image that is present in this world. But besides the presence of a particular mobile phone, we also have a general understanding of the mobile phone. That is to say that we have an idea of the class of mobile phones. For example, when I say that a table has 4 legs, I am thinking not of a particular table. I am just thinking about a general idea of a table with four legs. Such an idea is called a general idea or concept. Therefore, all class names such as man, pen, mobile, tree, table stand not for one thing, not just for one particular thing, but the whole class of things. And this represents concepts. So reason is basically the faculty of concepts. All reasoning is employed upon concepts. All reasoning is either inductive or deductive. And Socrates, in placing all knowledge in concept, was actually making reason as the organ of knowledge. Now what Socrates is doing? He is identifying knowledge with concepts, and in identifying knowledge with concepts, he was actually restoring the belief that Sophists ruined. Sophists said that all the things in the world are relative. Truth is relative. Every concept is relative. Socrates was trying to restore that idea that nothing is relative. Everything has an objective truth. Every object in this world has an objective truth. And some concepts have a definite meaning, which is common to all. For Socrates, knowledge is not sensation. Unlike Sophists, knowledge means knowledge of things as objectively are, independent of any individual sensation. His method of forming knowledge was by induction. He would take common examples of action which are universally admitted to be prudent, and then find a quality which all of them have in common, and then he would form a concept called prudence. So Socratic theory of knowledge was not limited to just theoretical knowledge, but for practical end. He actually wanted to know what the concept of virtue is, and therefore he tried to derive this theory of knowledge. He tried to ascertain this theory of knowledge. And he wanted to know what the concept of virtue is because he wanted to practice virtue in real life. And this brings us to the central point of ethical teachings of Socrates, which was the identification of virtue with knowledge. Socrates believed that a man cannot act rightly unless he knows what the right action is. Though Socrates believed that he knew that there is an objective truth, he knew that there is a truth which is absolute in nature, but he did not claim to know that he know the truth. You know what the truth is. He know that there is a common name. He knew that we can give a common definition to a truth, but he did not know what that truth is. He never claimed that. All wrongdoing for him arises from ignorance. He admits that virtue is the sanam banam of life, and knowledge is virtue. So this is one of the ethical teaching of Socrates, that knowledge is virtue. Now there are two other ethical teachings of Socrates related to knowledge is virtue, and the other two follows from this proposition. For Socrates, the sole condition of virtue is knowledge. And as knowledge is just what can be imparted by teaching, so can virtue be taught. And therefore, virtue is teachable. Virtue can be taught. The other is virtue is one. There are many virtues like temperance, prudence. Socrates believed that all these virtues follows one source, that is knowledge. Thus, from all this understanding of Socrates' teaching of knowledge, we can derive that there are two sides of Socratic teaching. First, there is this doctrine of knowledge where knowledge is identifiable with virtue, that all knowledge is true concept, that all knowledge can be drawn from concept. Second is the ethical teaching, and this teaching for him has to be pragmatically fit. So here it is. Now we come to the end of this video. So I have said that I will discuss 2 to 3 key points of how we can differentiate Sophist from Socrates, as I'm sure you all are clear about the differentiation. So for Sophists, what they believe in, they believe that knowledge is relative. It differs from person to person. However, Socrates believed that truth is not relative. It is rather absolute in nature. Second, Sophists placed all knowledge in sense perception. However, Socrates placed all knowledge in concepts. Thirdly, knowledge is for Sophists same as sensation of individual beings. However, Socrates does not believe in such kind of knowledge. So yeah, we have now come to the end of this video. I hope you have understood the Sophist school of philosophy and Socrates. And if you all have any doubt regarding them, please do let me know and send your queries in the comment section, and also the mail that I will be sharing in this description. please do mail me. And in my next video, I will try to discuss Plato, who is also believed to be one of the most important thinker of Greek philosophy and who also has influences in the Western philosophy. So I'll take up Plato. And if you feel that my video should reach a larger audience, please do share it. And thanks for listening to me.